The text entries we see in column A, from A4 downward, look just fine to me and probably to you too. On the other hand, how might they look if they were aligned on the right side of the cell? In the alignment group on the Home tab, here's right aligned. Easy to make a change, easy to reject. Text is automatically left aligned, and notice that when these cells are highlighted, even though left align isn't selected, they are aligned on the left. We possibly could center them, possibly on the right. And you might change your mind at different times. With numbers, particularly if they're used computationally, I would strongly suggest don't try and change these. Now, depending upon the format, some of these could change. And so sometimes you could be encountering a worksheet that does have alignment that you don't want. Could these be left aligned? Some of them are, some of them are not. If I got a worksheet like this, one of the first things I'd do is line these up on the right. I'd highlight them and turn off that left align button. So sometimes you'll have to make your own choices. For some numbers like these, you might try and center them or left align them, and it just doesn't work. So based on the format that's being used, you might or might not be able to realign certain kinds of numerical entries. Now, we can also align, but it only has relevance when we have taller rows, bottom, middle, or top. So let's create a situation where we might want to use that feature. I'm going to change the entry in cell H3 to be first half total. Now, possibly we might want to wrap this text so that it appears first half and then below it total in the same cell. And there are two ways to do this. I'm going to type first half and press Alt-Enter. That forces a line wrap, and then put in total. And as I press Enter, watch row 3 get taller. Happens like that. Now, this is in the bottom of the cell, it's in the middle or the top. Now, there's no difference here unless we made that row taller. I'm going to make row 3 taller, pointing on the boundary between 3 and 4. Now, I don't really need to do this, but I want to bring out this idea that there could be times when you're seeing data like this. With this being the only one in the row, we're probably not going to use this feature, but we could align this in the middle or align it on top. Do be aware of that. Not so much in the example here, but in other situations where you are seeing titles like this. Now, I'm going to undo some of the recent actions, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, a few times here, and actually go back to here. Another way to perform wrap text, a bit longer, but it does get you around the idea that shortcuts you're not always aware of. First half, space. Now the reaction could be, I don't want to make the column wider. It's too wide. What could we do here? On the Alignment tab in the Home group, we've got a choice called Wrap Text. Just click it. Now, it doesn't always wrap the text where you want it to, but on the other hand, it gets the job done, and sometimes you might need to do this to multiple cells. So that's a use of it as well. Another feature that we need from time to time is merging. The title on this worksheet is called Sales and Profits First Half Projections. It's in cell A1, and currently it's spilling rightward all the way over into E1. Now we might want to center this across the data. Could we move it into C1 or D1 and hope that it's going to work there? Well, we could. But on the other hand, we might highlight these cells all the way across. Remember, the data, the text itself, is only in cell A1. But here's the choice, merge and center. That turns it into one big cell. In this worksheet right now, there is no B1, C1, D1, etc., all the way over to E1, but there is an A1, and it's a much wider cell. We can do the same thing here. Could we have done them together? I'm going to press Control Z. We could highlight these cells like this. Now what happens here if we press Merge and Center? A pop-up message says, merging only keeps the upper left cell and discards the other value. Here's what would happen. I'll do an undo after I do this. We see that it's thrown away the other data. Let's press Control Z here. We could highlight the data this way and then let go of the left mouse button, and using the Control key, highlight this data. We've selected two different areas using the Control key. Now we can do Merge and Center this way.
Learning doesn't stop here. Discover more expert-led tutorials at LinkedIn Learning. Start your free trial today at linkedin.com/learning.